Be good, Ty. What's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Arsenal versus PSG 1-0. 4 minutes in, and they're already losing. 4 minutes in at the Emirates, you're already losing. What is that about? Come on. I was not happy. I was not happy when I saw that. I was not happy. And Dembele all by himself in the middle. Great pass from Bruno Mendes. And the pass from Dembele to Kvaratskhelia was a little bit off. I thought he lost it, recovered it, brought it back, passes it back to Dembele. And Dembele had enough time to be able to double touch that. He definitely had enough time. Even though Trossard, I think, was coming back to close him off, he had enough time. And I think the little bounce, because it wasn't a clean shot. The little bounce kind of did Raya in. That's what made the difference. And then there were bodies also, but I mean, great from Dembouz. Dembouz coming through with 1-0, 1-0. And who knew that that's all it would take to win this game? I thought with the number of chances that PSG had, and they had a good number of chances. Yes, don't get me wrong, Arsenal had a lot of opportunities to be able to score as well, but not as much as PSG. And the way PSG played, they were just, simply put, they were the better team. Simply put, they were the better team. You have to admit that. This PSG side beat Liverpool. They played really well at Anfield. They beat Aston Villa. They definitely are a different team, and they deserve to be where they're at. They absolutely deserve to be where they're at. I'm more than okay, even though I wanted Arsenal to win, but I want Arsenal to win properly. I want them to play well. And I don't think they had the worst game. I don't think this game was the worst game. It definitely wasn't their best game. It was in Real Madrid, Arsenal. PSG, simply put, are just a better team, and they deserve to go to the final. I think it's not going to be easy, and I think if I had to give predictions, I don't like to give predictions because anything could happen. I'm a firm believer of that. Arsenal could pull something off. Partey's going to be back. I would say they missed him more than Havertz. Like, people are talking about like the injuries with Gabriel Jesus. I don't think Havertz was meant for this game. He would have made a difference enough to maybe get a tie perhaps, but not to win this game. I don't think he's that kind of a difference maker. No way. There's no way. They need someone else. They need a number 9. They need a number 9, which they never got. And that's Arteta's fault. They need a number 9. But PSG, I think they got this in the bag. Let's talk about the ambience. The Ultras brought it. They brought it to the Emirates. So imagine them at Parc des Princes. Like, it's going to be a different atmosphere. I hope they don't get blown out of the water. I hope it's not like a landslide of victory from PSG. I think PSG are going to win this, and they're going to go to the final. They absolutely deserve it. It's not a fluke. It's not by chance. It's not luck. They definitely are a really good team. Another thing that I noticed too, like their bench, I mean, they got more options in their bench than Arsenal. And Arsenal need to work at that. They need to get signings. They need to, the way they broke the bank when it came to Declan Rice, and I was surprised that they did that at the time. They need to do that for a forward, for a center forward. They absolutely need to do that. That doesn't mean, I mean, you could get a Højlund, you could get a Darwin Nunez, but you absolutely need to do that. You absolutely need to do everything you can to get yourself a center forward, because it's that position that needs some fixing. And yeah, you know, adding some depth to that bench. And it wasn't all bad. Look, Lewis Skelly, I thought he was enormous, as well as Timber. Timber was also good, even though he was being had, and that was a penalty on Kvaratskhelia. That was definitely a penalty. I don't know how. I'm guessing that he thought that it wasn't enough. You know, it wasn't enough. Yeah, he saw that he had his arm around him, but it wasn't enough. And I kind of like that. Just, you know, let it play. But in that situation, 3 players, and then you see him impeding him. He didn't hold on to him for that long, but he held on enough to impede him, you know? So that was a penalty. I don't know how Arsenal got so lucky not having that as a penalty, you know? And it was kind of unfair. It just kind of cheapened the whole game. I was thinking if Arsenal do eventually score, or if they even win, they're going to go back to that penalty. That should have been a penalty. That was a clear penalty. I don't know how VAR didn't even... Like, if you would have saw that in the screen, if the referee would have gone to the screen, he would have called that a penalty. Absolutely. I think he would have called that a penalty. Especially with seeing 3 players on him. It's like, you didn't need to do that, right? Just the 3 players just would have magnified that to give PSG the penalty. So it wasn't a completely bad game. Lewis Skelly, I thought, was huge, man. This guy has arrived. He's on the scene. He's definitely one of the best fullbacks in the world, along with Hakimi and Bruno Mendes. Timber, as I said, Raya too. Raya with the saves, the Desiree Doué save. I thought that was an enormous save. Really, really good shot by Desiree Doué. And of course, Declan Rice. Declan Rice just doing everything, doing all the work, doing all the legwork in that midfield. I mean, poor guy, because Martin Odegaard was not to be seen at all. And this guy, is he the captain? I think he's the captain. Yeah, he did not do anything in this game. Amazing. I don't know what the stats are for Odegaard, but I just didn't feel that he was there at all. Like, there has to be maybe a touch I'm missing, because I'm thinking about the Lewis Skelly pass to Martinelli. I wanted to believe that was Martin Odegaard, but no, that was Lewis Skelly. I remember it clearly right now. That was Lewis Skelly. And and Martinelli, man. I don't know what to say about this guy because ever since the international break, he came back invigorated. He came back a very different player. Very, very piercing, very, very forward. But there's times that in the past that I've seen him just do kind of the Garnacho thing where he just plays it back. He plays it safe. He's not trying to get that 1v1 situation going on. And most of all, the chance that he had from the one I mentioned with Lewis Kelly, giving him that ball, you can make Donnarumma think that he was going for the second post, and you end up hitting it at the first post. I don't know. That needed to be a goal. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I right or am I right? Like, that needed to be a goal. How was that not a goal from Martinelli? That was a big fail from Martinelli. Trossard also had an opportunity. This was Declan Rice feeding him that ball. Beautiful run from Declan Rice as always. And the shot, just you already knew the way he was lining himself up, the run, to be able to hit the shot. It wasn't going to be a good shot. And Donnarumma again with the save. Man, Donnarumma really saved this PSG side. I know there's a lot of players, Vitinha, this guy Neves. There's a lot of players, Mendes, Hakimi. They all had really good games, but Donnarumma was really the standout player for me, just because he's had such awful seasons since he's gotten to PSG that he just looks like a different Donnarumma. He looks like a Thibaut Courtois at times. I'm not lying, but he looks really good. He looks really good. And in this game, he was absolutely impenetrable. Just no way you were going to get anything through Donnarumma. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with this guy, but he is a different keeper. So it wasn't all bad from Arsenal. Saka also had a pretty decent game, but I don't expect Saka coming back from that injury. And by himself, even if he wasn't back from injury, by himself, I don't expect him to do everything by himself. He was by himself. Martinelli didn't show up. Trossard, sort of. Martin Odegaard wasn't there. Marino, I was hoping Marino was going to be one of the guys that maybe put Arsenal ahead in some way. I mean, there was that supposed penalty that wasn't at all a penalty. Neves just in time to poke the ball out. I never think those type of situations are penalties or even fouls. You swing and somebody pokes it out before you end up getting to hit the ball. That's not a penalty, or that's not a foul. He did score the goal with the free kick, and that was such a really good set piece, but unfortunately it was offside. And unfortunately it just wasn't enough for Arsenal, and I don't think that they're going to do any better in Parc des Princes, but we'll see. I'm still hoping that Partey coming in, and I'm still hoping to see that Partey coming in is going to make some of a difference. As for Desiree Doué, I thought he was going to be subbed off a little bit earlier just because he was losing the ball several times in his own half, and that could have caused danger. Luckily, nothing happened anytime he lost the ball because he was trying to do a little too much. And I like this guy. I really like him. I like how bold he is. I like how daring he is, but he just holds on to the ball a little bit too much and does more than he needs to be doing instead of just passing the ball. Some of those little skills are just gratuitous and they don't need to be done, but he was a little bit of a liability in that second half, losing the ball 2-3 times in his own half. So I was surprised that I didn't know Dembele was subbed off because of an injury, and I was thinking to myself, Doué should have gotten subbed off. But even then, when I did find out that Dembele was being subbed off because he was hurt, I thought Desiree Doué should have been subbed off way before, and Barcola should have came on before. And Barcola had that chance that, I don't know if it's confidence, because what I remember a couple months ago, Barcola would have sunk that in. Barcola would have scored from that position. Gonzalo Ramos also had an opportunity. I don't really know much about this guy. I haven't really seen a lot of Gonzalo Ramos, but that was also an opportunity. I'm just telling you guys, PSG had this. This was a really, really good game for PSG, and I think they more than deserved the victory. If anything, they could have scored a lot more. If anything, I think they weren't as sharp as they needed to be because they should have scored more. They definitely should have scored more, and this should have been a somewhat easy victory for PSG. And I think they're going to get that when they go to the Parc des Princes. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.